Greetings, groovy geographers, and welcome to your syllabus and Canvas walkthrough for Geography Geology 106, Weather and Climate. As I mentioned in our shorter video, this course is cross-listed between two different classes. So some of you will see Geography 106 on your Canvas, and some of you will see Geology 106 on your Canvas. They're both the same class. They're just being listed in two different departments, depending on your major and what you're filling it for, but both classes get the same credit for everything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into our Canvas page on Student View and walk you through first our syllabus and then how our Canvas is structured and where you can find certain things like your lab exercises and your lessons and videos and such. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so as of today, which is Tuesday the 14th, this should be roughly what you see in your Canvas page. So you'll see your welcome module is the only module that we have live right now. It's going to be little kind of technical things, links to office hours, links to resources, in terms if you need tech support like Chromebooks to check out or webcams to check out and so on and so forth. But right now I want to start us out on the left-hand side. So you'll see how this is some of the different structures of our Canvas. I do everything through module view. So our home page is sent to this welcome module, but modules through right here is where I'm going to be publishing things. It's already programmed that your home page, if you scroll down, eventually when there are modules, they'll be listed here. Right now you can see the start of module 1. But this is where all the content that I'm going to be posting is through here. So I really emphasize that you access all of your course material through the module view. In the past, I've had students go straight to assignments and then they try to complete lab exercises without actually seeing any exercise content, and that makes labs a lot more difficult to do when you don't have the instructions. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our syllabus. Well, syllabus is linked on several different spots here. I'm going to go ahead and use the left-hand side because it's going to be in a larger view. But if you're more of a PDF person, you can also access a PDF of our syllabus both here, linked right here, and on the previous page. Okay, so again, this course is cross-listed as Geography and Geology 106. My personal background is in geography, so I will probably refer it to as geography more often, but lots of love to all you geologists out there as well. Okay, my name is Rachel Cunningham. Again, my pronouns are she, her, and hers. The way to get a hold of me is my email, cunninghamrachel@sncct.edu. Make sure you have the whole name in there because Cunningham R goes to someone who teaches business at CSM, no relation. So again, weather and climate, this is a 4-unit class. So please do anticipate doing more work than you may usually in a 3-unit class because this course is a lecture and lab combined. You get both lecture and lab credit. This course is fully online, which is awesome because some of you are not in the Bay Area or you work full time, you've got kids, life is busy, whatever it is. I personally am on the Skyline College campus. Ta-da! 5 days a week. So those of you who are in the Bay Area, come by, say hi. I've got tea and Legos and puzzles in my office and we can chat about movies or whatnot. Okay, so again, I recognize a lot of you from previous courses. I know several of you have taken Geography 100 physical geography with me. I see a few of you from my Geography 110 cultural geography. So this course is specifically focusing on weather and climate. So if you came looking for rocks, I'm sorry, there's no rocks here. So we're just looking at weather in terms of different specific weather phenomenon, so like tornadoes and hurricanes, but also things like how do we do weather forecasting? Like how do we create weather maps? What the heck is climate change and how do we talk about it, right? So that's specifically what we're looking at here. It's the deep dive into weather and climate that you would have got a taste of in Geography 100. So for those of you who took 100, there is going to be overlap. There is some review, but now expect this to be an even deeper jump into it. Okay. This course does have a textbook. We are using this one right here. Make sure you can see it by my background. So we're using, this is the 7th Seventh edition? Seventh edition of Aguado and Bert's Weather and Climate. This should be available at your bookstore. You also can buy it at, Barnes& and Noble, Amazon, so on and so forth. Used is fine. We're not using any sort of like magical code. So if you can get a discount buying it used, please do. There is a newer edition that is the global edition. I'm not familiar with that one. So if you bought that by mistake, I can't speak as to whether or not that works. We're gonna be using most of it. I know it's hefty. It's a big one. We're not gonna read every page, so don't worry. We're not gonna read all of it, but we are gonna refer to most of the sections. This is a pretty good outline of the structure of the course. So please do get a hold of a copy of this. And Skyline College does have supports if you are in Promise or other programs to get you some free textbooks as well. Okay, some of our lab exercises are going to be using a free software package called Google Earth Pro. We don't have a lab manual per se. I'm going to be pulling different lab exercises from other published places. Some of them I've written them myself, some of them are open resources, but a few of them will use Google Earth Pro. This is a free package, but you do have to install it on your computer. If your computer can't run Google Earth Pro, we do already have it installed on several computers, both in the library and in the Learning Center. Both are in Building 5. So that's already there in case your computer's like, nope, not going to do it. We got you, okay? If you think your first lab is just like a demo walkthrough of how to use Google Earth Pro, make sure you do Pro, not just the plain one, because the Pro is more fun. Okay, again, this is fully online. We're going to have some lecture slides. Some of them I've written, some are from the publisher from Pearson. We're going to have some lab exercise instructions. I'm going to have some demos. Those of you who've taken Geography 101 lab with me know that it's very hands-on. You are in the ether that is the internet. So less hands-on for you. I will do demos of certain tools that you may not have access to, and then you'll be doing some data collection of your own. Again, many of you are here in the Bay Area. Some of you are in Kentucky or in France, right? There's no limit to where you can take this class. So we'll be doing some data collection out in the real world, but no specific tools outside of a smartphone are needed. Okay? Everything you submit will be through Canvas. You will submit your labs through Canvas. You'll take your exams through Canvas. Everything is through Canvas. You obviously can email me, but it's much preferred that you submit your work through there because that makes my life easier. Please make my life easier. All right, student learning outcomes. So your goals are to get a grade for this course. My goal is for you to be able to master these 4 concepts, okay? One of them is looking at Earth-Sun relationships. And so we have this giant nuclear reactor in the sky. How does that impact what we experience in terms of our rain and our wind and our droughts and whatnot? Be able to classify our world climates. And so we're going to look at, what's the difference between a desert and a rainforest, and how do we classify a desert versus a rainforest, and where do we find them and why? Looking at the greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect or global warming is one aspect of climate change. There are natural causes of greenhouse effect, and there are also human causes of greenhouse effect. And so we'll take a look at that. And then, of course, looking at the elephant in the room, climate change, right? Look at that in terms of a geologic time scale. So looking back the 4.6 billion years that our planet's been hanging out versus what do we see today, in 2025 that's been caused by humans. So lots of different ways we can talk about geologic time scales when it comes to climate change. The best way by far, email me, Cunningham Rachel. Every semester this happens, someone disappears, and then I get a frantic email on like May 13th, right before the final. My life's on fire. Can I do the whole class in 2 days? No, you cannot do the whole class in 2 days. The sooner, and this happens again, life happens while we're in college. Your car breaks down, your dog dies, your kid gets sick, a number of things. My parents' cat just died yesterday, actually, as I'm recording this. So life happens. The sooner you get in touch with me about how I can support you, the better I can support you, whether that be getting you campus resources, community resources, again, making sure that you're most set up for success. I can't help you if I don't know how to help you, all right? So please keep in contact with me. Don't be a stranger. You know where to find me. This is how you get to your grade for the class. In a 4-unit class, that's a lecture lab combo, it is expected that 1/4 of your grade will be lab work. So 25% of your grade will be your lab exercises. There are 16 labs throughout the semester. They will open up on either a Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on how my toddler behaves, and then they are due the Sunday evening following. So you will have a full week to do that work. They're each worth 5 points. You can drop your lowest score. So if you totally bungle one, don't worry, it's good. Okay, so feel basically figured to do 1 lab a week. Some of them are going to have multiple week aspects, but about on average 1 a week. Okay, there are 3 exams. Each one is worth 50 points. Again, you drop your lowest, right? Your exams will cover both lecture and lab material. And they're all done through the online Proctorio software, the proctoring software. I know this is a bummer because Proctorio is gross and I hate it, but I'm also really tired of reading ChatGPT exams. So, again, online classes are increasingly under a lot of scrutiny. There's a lot of concerns about making sure that online classes have the same rigor as we might have our in-person classes, especially with the access to things like AI and large language models. And so to make sure that we keep your accreditation, make sure you get the credit that this will transfer or fill your GE, we have to have these stricter standards, which is why you might see more and more faculty using things like Proctorio and AI screeners. We don't really want to, we kind of have to, right? Cool. So 3 exams, again, you drop your lowest. It's a nice kind of freebie. We're going to have a few exercises. So there'll be like a historical weather analysis, looking at some real historical events. So think about, Hurricane Katrina, Typhoon Haiyan, some of the major things that have happened in our planet from a historical perspective and how humans responded to these massive climate disasters, right? There's also going to be some discussion posts. Your first one is looking at the fires in LA, right? Right now, as we speak, Los Angeles is burning, and much of that is climate driven. So we'll have a discussion about what would this country look like without Los Angeles, because while this is the most severe fire we've seen in a very long time, it's not going to be the last fire that we see in Los Angeles. As we'll see when we do more work, the climate conditions as well as the topography conditions are just set up so that this is going to continue happening. Um, After each lecture module, there will be an online quiz. These are worth 0 points. I know it's kind of sad to see 0% on your syllabus. These aren't worth points, right? They're here to help you practice, right? They're optional. You could totally skip them if you want. However, they are a great way to practice for your exams. Think of this as your study guide, right? If you fail the quiz, which is worth 0 points, it helps you know what to study for the eventual exam, which is worth many points, right? So those are there for you to work on. There isn't a final exam in this class because I don't like final exams. Instead, you're going to be creating your own climate action plan. More details on this individually and later, but you'll be able to actually look at specific cities and scenarios and kind of how do we move forward living on our planet that is getting hotter and more extreme in many different ways. So we'll have an actual tangible climate action plan that you could use for a portfolio, those of you who plan going into climate action work. Okay, grades are pretty straightforward. A, B, C, D, F. I don't do pluses and minuses because they get annoying. So pretty straightforward. No secrets. Classroom norms. So in terms of late work, late lab exercises are good for 1 week, right? So you miss it, that's fine. Again, life happens. You have a 1 week grace period. After that, we're done. There's a lot of content in this and a lot of it builds on each other. So if you skip the lab on relative humidity, then when we get to the lab on hurricanes, you're going to feel lost. So figure 1 week buffer. Again, you drop your lowest. You might see some temporary inserts of zeros in your grade book. That's my passive aggressive reminder of what happens if you don't do your work, right? So the 0 will go away once you do your work, but you have to do the work for the 0 to go away. And then for exams, there's a 24-hour window with a 10% late penalty, and after 24 hours, no more. Okay. Because you are doing your labs on your own, I will be including safety information in your lab exercises. Please read that over. You are responsible for making sure that you do not bring harm to yourself while doing your lab exercises. Again, we're not doing anything like we're not setting things on fire, we're not blowing things up in a lab, but you are going to be doing things that involve going outside and taking measurements and, be aware of your surroundings. Don't get hit by a car while taking pictures of clouds, please. So be mindful of your surroundings and safety information for your lab. My job is to make sure that this is a positive learning environment for you. If you don't feel this is a positive learning environment, then I am not doing my job. If you feel safe letting me know, please do so. If you don't feel comfortable talking to me about it, my boss is Dr. Bianca Rowden-Quince. She's the Dean of Social Sciences and Creative Arts. She is awesome, and she's very student focused. So if your needs as a student are not being met, call her. If you have accommodations, please get those to me as soon as possible. If you don't know if you need accommodations, I recommend just chatting with the Educational Access Center. A lot of folks don't realize that things like a broken wrist and a concussion also will get you accessibility accommodations. If you break your right hand and you're right-handed, it's really hard to finish your exams, right? They're amazing. I work with them a lot. So please do reach out to them, or I can introduce you to folks too if you'd like. Title IX is about gender-based violence. Don't. There's also a video on your RepSmart talking about how individuals can help bring an end to gender-based sexual misconduct and harassment, stalking, so on and so forth. If you qualify for financial aid, there are expectations that you must meet. And if you or a family member or a loved one are undocumented, a lot of folks are concerned about this as we approach our new inauguration in a bit. We have a great undocumented community center here on campus that has resources in terms of your rights, both as an immigrant or as a citizen. You have rights here. Anyone living in the United States has certain rights in terms of legal enforcement and so on and so forth. So please do check that out. I'm talking about acknowledging our sources. As I mentioned earlier, ChatGPT and large language models have very much changed how I do my job. I'm not completely anti-AI. I think it has a role in education. I think it can be great for brainstorming, for checking your grammar. I'm not grading you on your English, so feel free to check your grammar on AI. What you can't do is you can't use it to replace yourself. So copy paste, nope, not gonna do that. Using it on exams, nope, not gonna do that. So think about how you can use AI to support you, not to replace you. If you have questions about what the ethical uses of AI are, feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to talk about ways that we can use it to support us, and again, not just do your work for you. If AI is doing your work for you, that's cheating. And cheating will get you a 0 on the assignment, and you'll be get to meet our awesome student disciplinary officer, and consequences can be as much as actually being expelled from the district. So don't do it. In terms of sources, I also want to emphasize that there is more legitimate sources than just the big, giant, dusty textbook you get from the basement of the library, especially talking about weather and climate. We're going to be looking at weather and climate across the planet. You may have lived through a hurricane. You might have a relative who's experienced a tornado. Those oral traditions about personal experiences are totally valid sources for talking about weather and climate in a class. So don't feel like you have to just look at our textbook as a source. If you know someone, or if you personally have lived in other parts of the world with different types of climate, that's a valid source. And so I really want us to think about, how do we learn from our community? How do we create knowledge within our community? And then also, how do we give credit to our community, right? So you can do citations for personal interviews and personal experiences and different types of social media. Those are all, through proper citations, can be used in your final projects. Okay. Like I said earlier, life happens while we're in college. We have free counseling here at Skyline. Counseling's expensive, but it's free here. So check it out there. This is your schedule for the semester, subject to change because, like I said, I did not intend to start the semester talking about LA, but we are talking about LA, sorry, this week. So as things happen, hurricane season does overlap a little bit with our semester. And flood season here in California overlaps with our semester. So things might change if the world changes, which it is very rapidly. But in general, again, figure doing 1 to 2 lessons a week, doing 1 lab a week. It's a pretty hefty read from your textbook. You don't have to read every single thing verbatim. Feel free to look up YouTube videos about speed reading and ways to kind of read quickly without just reading every single individual sentence, because I'm not going to like grill you on this textbook. Don't worry. But this textbook is more knowledgeable than I am. My background is in botany and flooding. So when we get to our flooding chapter, I got you, but I'm not a hurricane expert by any means. Okay. So this is our syllabus. Any questions there? That's for you. But I want, again, just a real quick look at how our Canvas is set up. Again, here's kind of our general chit chat stuff. There's a current event discussion board. Your lab exercises will all be submitted through Canvas. And also I want to look at our modules here. So within each lesson, once this opens up, you're going to see a PDF of PowerPoint slides. Some lessons will have videos, some don't. It kind of depends on the specific content. And there'll be a reminder of what your text is reading for the text for that chapter. So within each lesson, you can figure seeing PDF to slides. There might be a link to a video if applicable. There'll be a listing of your reading, and there'll be a link to your practice quiz. So those 4 things are going to be in each module, or each lesson, I should say. And then within each week, there'll be your link to your lab exercise. So you'll see the directions for your lab. There might be some screenshots if it's applicable computer exercise. There might be a silly video of me attempting to go out in a storm and take 10 measurements. But also you'll have a Canvas link. Again, all of your assignments will be submitted through Canvas. Okay, I think that's everything here. Again, questions, drop me an email. I'm here. You know where to find me. Let's have some fun this semester, and I'll see you later. Take care.